The last quarterfinal of the day, the winner to face FGCU, the local team. And the loser will face Delaware tomorrow night. We are ready. Iowa in the white, Purdue-Fort Wayne in the black, and right away, Hannah Stuelke.
Stuelke establishes the inside game, which is only going to make it easier for the perimeter players.
Well, Mastodons just going to look to find their footing, be secure with the basketball, and maybe make some shots. As the three is good. Amelia Bromenshenkel.
Molly Davis went behind the screen and paid for
from Caitlin Clark. 30 points per game, widely considered the best in the country. This is Marshall for Purdue-Fort Wayne. They work it around. Into the corner it goes for Sellers. Her shot is good. Oh, the points are falling early for both teams.
Do you like offense? You're in the right spot.
FGCU put up over 80 in our last game, and here we go off to the races in our evening contest, 7:30 start here from Hertz Arena. This is Clark up top, 1 minute and 15 seconds in. Steps back, does not need a lot of space to operate, misses the long three, easy rebound for Davis. Around it goes. That one is good.
Been as consistent this year from the three-point line. Good for her to get that first shot down.
This is Emerson giving it to Sellers. Sellers fades and missed the two. It's amazing this place comes to a hush when the ball is in play. They are locked into every pass and every shot, waiting to explode on an Iowa bucket. There's Stuelke getting inside, missed the first attempt. Defense really crashing hard on her. Around it goes. Marshall tees one up, in and out from the corner. Ball is loose and handled by the Mastodons. This is Emerson bringing it across. Sellers looking. Back to Audra Emerson, native of Fishers, Indiana. Sellers almost beat her defender there off the dribble and banks it in. Tough
her
shot.
Guide hand there, her offhand to hold off the taller Kate Martin.
Clark steps on the gas pedal, had it stripped in the regular season to Kansas State, who is in the field here at the Gulf Coast Showcase. Two early threes for Marshall.
As good as Caitlin Clark is, she does need her supporting cast, and for Gabby Marshall to go 2 for 3 here early in the first 3 minutes speaks well for Iowa.
There's a good look and a connection.
Gonna make threes?
Certainly in our night session, we've seen a ton of made threes, but you gotta love the Mastodons rising to the occasion here in Southwest Florida against Iowa. Lob inside, Stuelke will kick. Clark down the baseline, into contact, draws the foul.
Something she's definitely grown into as her career has advanced.
Converts on the first free throw, comes in through the first 5 games, averaging 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. If you're going to nitpick any number on her stat line, one that I'm sure she hopes to improve. And she's taken a lot of shots, right around a third of the shots for the season for Iowa. There's a nice move in the lane. Crowd wanted to travel. So we're tied. Mastodons matching Iowa shot for shot here in the first 4 minutes. This is a falter. Clark steps back for 2. Got it! Plus the foul.
Caitlin Clark. Protect the shooter. Caitlin Clark, but every shooter. The defenders must allow that offensive player to come down without contact.
Looking to extend the lead to 3, and that rattles out. Fight for the rebound, and it'll be a jump ball, and the arrow favors the Mastodons.
The Iowa Hawkeyes are going to go from person to person to a 2-3 zone. It starts looking like a 1-1-3. It really is a 2-3 zone. They're going to go back and forth, trying to keep Fort Wayne out of rhythm offensively.
A kick and a long 3, no good from Schweiderman.
The freshman is not necessarily a post player. She does have range, but she's going to play that
Iowa, and they've got their largest lead. There's a pull-up. Sellers missed it short. Mastodons dropping back on defense, not going after the offensive boards. A falter handles, and it gets it to Clark. They post up Goodman. Martin curls through. Lost the handle on the baseline, and it's going to be out of bounds to Fort Wayne. So Emerson brings it up, down by 4. A lot of scoring here early. Sellers turns. Has to kick. That is Aaron Woodson throwing it away. Iowa wants to run. A falter all the way in, missed it. Got her own miss and draws the foul.
Basketball families, athletic families, when there's multiple children in different sports, the same sports, makes for competitive youth, backyard games, football games.
Iron sharpens iron, as I'm sure with their NBA father, a lot of really competitive household basketball games in the driveway, maybe at the park. And it pays off. There she is. Sellers has to give it up. Wing 3, a little bit short from Ryan Ott. So danger time here for Iowa. Or I should say for Fort Wayne, with Iowa with a chance to add to this 6-point advantage. Fearback gives it up. Marshall into the lane. The kick, and Davis tees one up. No good. Weak side rebound handled by Ott. Only 10 players dressed for Purdue-Fort Wayne. 12 on the roster. 2 of them are banged up and not available tonight. So it is a short bench for the Mastodons. Pull up from Ott, no good.
Fort Wayne's doing a nice job of getting a quality shot and not crashing the offensive glass.
There's a nice move inside, but a miss, and Sellers has the rebound.
Rather than crash the offensive glass, Fort Wayne is doing a nice job of getting back to help slow the Iowa transition offense. You can't take away everything. Interior, Caitlin Clark, transition, three-point shooting. But you can try to slow them down, and that is what Fort Wayne is trying to do.
Fort Wayne was dialed in from outside earlier, but as they
behind the scoring area, so certainly Iowa's length is a problem for Fort Wayne.
So Clark has it up top. We'll see how much they can stretch the lead here before the end of the quarter. There's a beautiful drop.
Iowa assistant coach Jan Jensen is their post coach, and if you follow women's college basketball, there's just been a recipient, but there's certainly Hannah Stuelke's done a great job. Addison O'Grady will also come in.
This is Marshall with it for Purdue-Fort Wayne. Shot clock down to 7, and we have a travel back over to the
passing lane is taken away sheerly by Iowa's length.
Taylor McCabe is in for the Hawkeyes. Clark drops it down low. Goodman with a lefty layup and a chance for 3.
Caitlin Clark brings 2 everywhere on the floor, and eyes are up, able to make that little dump down.
Some good touch to put that one softly into the hands of Goodman. When you're that close together, you can't fire it as hard as you order.
Less than stellar players will make that a bullet pass from 2 feet, which is much more difficult to catch.
Yes, and a lot of times may end up going out of bounds. There's a good ball fake. Floater is good. There is pass ahead. Goodman getting down the court, waits for her teammates and kicks. Bounce pass to a falter. Good move inside, draws the foul. As a falter lines up the free throws. Misses that one. Knocked down a pair a few moments ago, but misses the first one here. 9 players already used by Lisa Bluter. 8 already in for the Mastodons, who reached the NCAA tournament with Mount St. Mary, is also a head coach at Walsh and Urbana. Another interesting connection, Marin. She was at Walsh University. That's where Carl Semesco started his head coaching career. Head coach at FGCU is Schwederman.
And that's the mismatch. Schwederman is not really a 5. She's playing the 5 today, but she's got great range, and that's going to force Hannah Stuelke.
And the first one falls. She better get her points early today because she might not be in the 4th if they continue to stretch their lead.
For all 8 teams here, load management is going to be apparent and going to be key to keep the best players fresh while still securing the wins that they are looking for.
Iowa turns it over. A poke away from Purdue-Fort Wayne. This is Casey for three, no good. In the men's tournament, they had the same format, 3 games in 3 days, Monday through Wednesday. And there were a handful of players who, as there's a good cut for Martin, who did not play in the middle game of those 3 days. A couple guys rolling ankles, but a couple of guys that were healthy scratches as well in that tournament on this court a few days ago. Bounce pass to the baseline. Broman-Schenkel got contact and draws the foul on Stuelke. First one is good. It's been nice to see these Mastodons not fazed by the situation at all. Came out matching the Hawkeyes bucket for bucket and still within single digits. Second one is pure.
Couple second differential here, but the veteran leadership here for Iowa, they're going to look for the last shot of this first quarter.
Clark, a lot of dribbling, working the shot clock down to about 12. Now she'll go, fires it to the back door. Extra pass, Stuelke had it blocked, no whistle. That was Clea Casey coming in for the strip. And then her pass gets deflected. 4 seconds, here comes Clark, ahead to Stuelke at the buzzer. It's good! Transition bucket.
We are in for an absolute treat.
Clark,
here we see Hannah Stuelke coming, finishing
3 days in a row. As Martin sends it in. A 10-point lead for Iowa as they have scored 30 in the opening quarter.
And now we're seeing a box and one here by Fort Wayne. Kate Martin using her strength.
That is not a defense you see much of, but with Clark and her stature, makes more sense for sure. There's a dump down and a nice turn and finish for Erin Woodson. Stuelke running the floor, lays it in. They will beat you down the...
Inbound to the coach's hash. Hit your sprinting post player for a layup.
Stuelke getting up and down. Goodman again. Or rather, Woodson, nowhere to go. Emerson gives it back to her. Marshall with 8 on the shot clock. Another kick. Marshall, 2 to shoot. Goes over the defender, Drew Iron. Clark wrestles away the rebound. Working one-on-one. Step back 3. Book it! Caitlin Clark heating up.
A little shake and bake, just enough to lose her defender, for at least her defender's arms to go down. The shot goes up.
Not a whole lot you can do to defend that. There's a poke away. Marshall ahead to Clark. 3-on-2. Clark weaves and kicks to Marshall. And Iowa will send it back to Clark. And she walked with it. Would have had an easy layup had they not blown that play dead.
She's saying, hey, I've done a shot fake and attack to the rim before.
Essentially telling the ref, keep up. There's a rebound underneath for Stuelke. And Marshall controls with a game-high 15-point lead. Stuelke bounce pass. Oh, Clark tried to go around the back, but it's out of bounds.
They have a tough cover. Stuelke there saw and was able to deliver a perfect pass to Caitlin Clark.
Emerson looking, nowhere to go with it as Iowa works into the zone. They dump it for Schwederman, and there's a walk. Perplexed looks on Purdue-Fort Wayne right now. They did a great job hanging tough for a while, but on offense, there's just nowhere to go. Martin down the baseline, lost her pivot foot, and she'll travel with it.
Pass.
Iowa in that 1-3-1 at the moment. They dump it to Graber, who's in right now for the Mastodons. Marshall lobs. Hits her post player. Good move and a lefty from Fort Wayne.
Graber showed tremendous patience there.
Marshall around the back dribble, swings to Martin. Davis passes. Clark missed the lefty layup. Martin the offensive rebound. Ball is loose and recovered by Davis. And a whistle underneath. It's going against. Clark to inbound. Finds Marshall.
Definitely a mismatch there on the inside for Iowa. Can they get Addison O'Grady The basketball, not needed. Not needed at all when Caitlin Clark's got that range and feeling it.
She is feeling it. 14 points already for Clark. Stover. Now Ott. Marshall with it. Trying to find a hole in the zone. Cross-court pass deflected by Clark. That'll go out of bounds. So back. The Mastodons need a quick shot here. As they get it into Emerson, she turns and fires. No good. Oh, weak side rebound. Almost ended up with 2. But off the mark, and here come the Hawkeyes. Clark comes with the ball. She'll try again. Oh, yeah! Caitlin Clark, 3 more!
A 3 off of a stagger screen in transition.
More than 5 minutes to play. Iowa with a chance to put up 55 or 60 here in the first half.
Fort Wayne has found success when they're able to move the basketball.
Stover with the bounce pass. 3 from Marshall is good. Louisville native Destiny Marshall provides a response. There's a drop down. Low post. And now a kick. Marshall pulls up. No good. Got Marshalls on both sides going at it right now. There's the Mastodons, Marshall. Swings it to Ott, and now back to Marshall. Seems like this zone is really slowing them down. Bounce pass. Interior move, and swatted by O'Grady. As we get another look at the block.
Addison O'Grady keeps her hands up, almost like a volleyball block.
So Emerson will trigger. Lobs it up high, nobody home. Chased into the backcourt though, and they'll have it. 3 to shoot. And another block. That time it's Martin. And Clark brings it up. Iowa fans getting rowdy. There's the lob inside. O'Grady kept it in. Corner 3, too strong, loose, and handled by Casey. That pass deflected by Clark.
Before this Iowa zone can set up, it's really caused problems with their length, their activity.
Into the corner. The 3 comes up short for Bromanchenko. But an offensive rebound. Ball is loose. Knocked around, and here comes Clark. Fires up ahead. O'Grady is there for the 2. Well, they are jumping on these opportunities in transition. 1-3-1, really slowing down the Mastodons. Straight line drive for Schwederman. Now into the corner. Emerson for 3. Got it! Emerson now with 6. Clark curls. Emerson on her. Shifts directions, and we've got a hand check called on Emerson.
Emerson did a nice job navigating the stagger screen. First we see the 3 that goes up. And she immediately went to find Caitlin Clark. That's her defensive matchup right now.
But that's not an easy pass we just saw. That's a 40-foot bounce pass right on the money to O'Grady. Clark steps back, in and out, almost had another. Emerson not wasting any time. Gets it back, gives a fake. This is Woodson. Bounce pass underneath. Schwederman with a good feed. Layup, though, no good. Martin secures it.
That was a really nice offensive possession for Fort Wayne. Unfortunately, they couldn't get that layup to go down.
Clark right down the middle, finesses it through with her left.
Uses her pivot well, slices the trap.
There's a three on the other side off the mark. Stuelke pulls it down with two. Clark already up ahead. Clark knifes through and kicks to the corner. McCabe off the mark, and the Mastodons head back the other way. Broman-Schenkel scores.
I've been impressed with Broman-Schenkel's mentality. She has not backed down to the challenge on the offensive end of scoring against a much bigger defender.
Martin
Being swatted at. When you feel things are done illegally towards you, night in and night out, it is hard.
She is the hunted everywhere she goes on the court as Casey makes the free throw. And, of course, getting a ton of off-court attention, too, whether it be post-game press conferences, interview requests, social media. It's a lot to deal with, especially during the season. I want to stay focused on the basketball, but there's a lot of other moving pieces. As Feuerbach returns. So the Mastodons have it after the free throws coming off the intentional foul. Stuelke closed out. Broman-Schenkel hits again.
Broman-Schenkel has a fantastic touch. She showed us how she can use her pivots. Here she's playing post defense against a much stronger, taller Hannah Stuelke.
At 13 now for Broman-Schenkel to lead the Mastodons.
She's technically playing the middle of this 2-3 zone.
That's Davis lobbing it for Stuelke. Beautiful.
Holly Davis using a great touch.
That's a no-look pass, too. Leading
looks to set it, but doesn't. Puts it over the net herself. I'm not sure what that's called. That's what it looked like to me.
I believe they call that going on two. Little offensive play from the setter. I mean, we've been watching a lot of volleyball here in the fall. NCAA tournament about to get going. Of course, Big Ten, the best volleyball conference in the country. There's a three that comes up short for Emerson. They tried to save it along the end line.
Taking the open threes. I'm sure ball movement will be something that is addressed at halftime.
Bounce pass to the elbow. Davis drives, puts up the floater, and got it to go.
Nice little floater on the baseline.
So Iowa with 52 points here in the first half, and they'll have at least one more possession. Emerson swings it to the opposite corner. Casey without a lot of room, and called for a travel. Goes out the half without her, but a game-high 19 for Clark. Bounce pass. Stuelke lost it. Emerson goes to the floor. Mastodon still fighting for it. That was Casey who rolled over the ball. They will call a jump ball. And so Emerson brings it up. They can hold for the final shot. Shot clock is off. Iowa attacks with the top half of their zone.
Iowa's bringing the pressure.
That's not where you want to go. You want to reverse that ball the other way, right?
It's very easy for us to say that. We don't have 10 fingers, 10 toes encroaching on our personal space. But yes, you're correct. Ideally, a ball reversal would relieve that pressure.
Pass goes to the corner. Woodson off the window, didn't get the roll. Offensive rebound, no good. Feuerbach pulls it down. 2 seconds. Davis launches and comes up a little bit short. But an outstanding first half. Quite a few threes in that first half. 6 for 14 from beyond the arc.
This is the most lopsided halftime score we've had today, John. And both squads now are playing to their standards. What are their offensive and defensive principles? What are things that they can control to put them in a better position for tomorrow?
Step back for Clark, you bet. She bangs one through, and Clark is up over 20 points already. Oh, right on cue to start the second half. Caitlin Clark connects on her 5th three of the game. Davis gets the knock away, and there's the over and back. Coach Bluter right back where we were. Davis here on the near sideline sends it in. with Kate Martin, the graduate guard, at the controls. Clark comes to the ball, pulls up for three. Oh, yeah, again! Caitlin Clark fading away, drains it. And a timeout right away from the Mastodons. She's got fans that come out from that local area. A lot of the folks here coming to see Caitlin tonight are probably from this area.
I give Caitlin Clark a lot of credit. She has stepped into the role model for young girls. She's done it with grace. She sticks around, signs autographs. She's got a lot on her shoulders on the court, and then being the spokesperson for the women's basketball team, but also empowering young girls.
Things that really helps. And having a heck of a start to her Gulf Coast showcase. 25 points as Sellers had it blocked, and Stuelke rises high. 7 assists already for Clark, but she has that one poked away from behind. Mastodons headed back the other way. Marshall gives it up. On the ground, this is Bromanchenko. Sellers with nowhere to go, fended off by Martin. Bromanchenko pulls the three and connects.
That's way too easy. Bromanchenko has been the offense for Fort Wayne today. Inside, outside.
Yeah, some early threes from some other people, but since then, Bromanchenko has led the way. 16 points for Purdue-Fort Wayne. Clark gets inside, had it blocked. They're going to get Sellers on 3 for 5 at the line today. Makes the first. So many of her shots, Marin, are just straight through. That perfect splash of the net. As that one drew a little bit of iron. But
in season.
The shooting ability is just off the charts. Naismith Player of the Year, Caitlin Clark. 21-point lead now for Iowa. Woodson having some trouble. Emerson curls, feeds Bromanchenko. Trying to get around Martin, gets it poked out of Emerson with 2 to shoot. Wild hook shot, did draw iron. Ball gets knocked around, and Stuelke secures it for the Hawkeyes. Clark up ahead. Marshall open, short. Rebound to the Mastodons. That is Woodson changing direction. And now having trouble finding a teammate. Lobs to the corner for Emerson. Sellers. In on Stuelke. Had it knocked away by Clark. It goes out of bounds to Iowa. This is Martin, dishes inside, easy lay-in for Stuelke on every possession. It's almost like we're at a tennis match where it goes silent during these plays. There's a floater from inside 10 feet. Battle for the rebound. Stuelke wins the battle. Clark with it. Long three from nearly the logo, not that time. And an offensive rebound for Davis as it was poked out by the Hawkeyes.
Davis is looking for the interior pass, able to find Stuelke, unable to finish.
She takes a breather. Clark gets the through the legs pass. Open in the lane, got fouled. Caitlin Clark going back to the free. First one is perfect.
Iowa's so smart in how they use their substitutions to get Caitlin Clark the extra rep. Coming out now to buy her a couple more minutes on the bench.
Yeah, 90 seconds, 2-minute breather as she is up to 29 points. That three a bit too strong from Casey. Offensive rebound to Ott. Spin move. Bromanchenko had it stripped. Mastodons have it though. Ott off the recovery. Splashes it through. Ryan Ott with her first points. Fierbach over to get it. Davis on the drive.
Davis lost the handle there. She wanted to get it to Sharon Goodman.
Here's Marshall backing it out. Inside it goes. Goodman got it up there. Foul situation. Only 10 available players on their sideline as Goodman makes the first. 2 players with 3 fouls, but nobody worse off than that. As Goodman misses the second. And a strong box out from Graber. Broman-Schenkel kicks. Step back three. Off the mark, rebound to a falter. Marshall hands, so an offensive foul is called.
Continuing with contact after she handed the basketball off to Molly Davis.
Yeah, you can see her sharing her perspective there with the official as Marshall, the other Marshall, goes to the backcourt to get it. It's Marshall on Marshall right now. Wing three is available. A little bit too strong, and a foul on the... Iowa has not had many fouls in this game, but a couple quick ones there. Here's Marshall, spinning on Marshall. Righty hook shot off the mark. Battle for the board. Mastodons win that battle. Sellers comes out with it. Casey dishes too far for her teammate. Shovel is intercepted, but Davis says it's time for our principal expert move of the game. As the loose ball is won by Clark, and there's that long 50-foot bounce pass up ahead to O'Grady. That was late in the first half as we get the low perspective of this play as well. And we are very pleased to welcome in Debbie Antonelli. Debbie, I know you're very involved with the tournament. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys are doing
stage of where their program is at. A defeat earlier in the season, but that has not deterred them from showing out in force here at Hertz Arena.
No, this is a well-put-together team, and it's a well-oiled machine that can travel, and this is by far the biggest crowd we've ever had at the Gulf Coast.
Seats about 9,000, and it is certainly more than half full tonight.
Yeah, we're really pleased about how Clarkonomics travels, is what I call it, Clarkonomics.
Well, we like Clarkonomics.
Yes, we do.
This is Marshall up top against the Iowa zone. Sellers with it on the far side, tries to split it, and a travel called on her.
And I keep reminding myself it's only November, but because the first 3 weeks of the season I have seen so much quality basketball, so many good teams, that it makes me feel good about where we're trending when we get to March in the postseason.
Bounce pass inside. Good cut by McCabe. Able to gather it along the baseline. Low pass handled. And there is a falter.
You know, she gives them a punch in the inside, and she's a tough rebounder and a tough defender.
And a steal quickly from Goodman in the Hawkeyes. Martin across the timeline, swings it to the wing. Three comes up short. Mastodons control. I know you've been involved with this tournament for quite a while. I know it's going on about a decade here in Southwest Florida. But a brand new court this year, a huge upgrade, and the teams just continue to get better and better as that one doesn't go for Broman-Schenkel.
Well, BD Global has done a great job of being a leader in this field and creating quality events for teams to come and participate in. From the very beginning, when Brooks and I were talking about creating some events, we wanted high caliber teams, we wanted good officiating, we wanted to have a destination city, and we wanted to bring RP.
This tournament allows for that resume building.
Yeah, look at Florida Gulf Coast. They can't get any Power Fives to come and play them. They're too good, right? Nobody wants to come down here and play them. So by playing in this event, they're going to get quality RPI games, and it's going to make them better for their own conference.
One-bid leagues. They understand that, but still getting a quality opponent, testing themselves in a bigger environment bodes well for their confidence too.
I mean, look how well Vermont competed against North Carolina today, and look what Delaware did in competing against Florida Gulf Coast. And we're seeing, you know, teams that have come in here that are quality players. They can shoot it, they can handle it, and they play a good scheme, and they're well. Western Kentucky, very well prepared when they came in here today, and their guards are small, but they're active, athletic, and that's what you want to see. You want to see teams being able to test themselves against the best.
O'Grady slithers inside. Had the lead at the end of one quarter, and of course Vermont held the lead until about the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter today against the Tar Heels.
Well, as Iowa makes it a 30-point lead, right? They just have been so connected and such good rhythm on the offensive end and good balance offensively as well. They share the ball very well.
Broman-Schenkel got stuck for a moment. They reset with Ott, 4 to shoot. Broman-Schenkel trying to shake the defense, steps back for 3, doesn't get the roll.
I mean, for Iowa, when you have 16 assists on 25 made baskets, I would say that's a good percentage for them.
Oh, no question about it. That one off the heel of the rim.
And then on the other side, Purdue-Fort Wayne, they've matched the same number of threes that Iowa's made. They both have 8.
Did that stay in bounds? But it'll stay on this end as you get another look at that block. Great effort by a vaulter to try and keep it in.
Hence, it was not their basketball.
And in a block there, obviously not enough for possession. As Casey handles for Purdue-Fort Wayne. Sellers drives the baseline, has to kick. This is Stover, gets swatted. Big time block from O'Grady, and then a foul.
With 5 guards, and they shoot it well. So they got to move it, get in the gap, and kick.
McCabe connects on the first. It's a 14-3 run in the last 7 minutes for Iowa. And a 20-6 margin in this third quarter. Second one fall. This is Emerson handling. Sellers trying to get to that baseline. And right now Iowa in full control. Debbie, do you think we'll see Caitlin Clark back out here for one more stint?
Yeah, I think we will. I think she'll come back to start the fourth quarter. Get a few more minutes. I mean, she's stuck on 29.
Yeah, why not get her another 30-point game? Wing 3 rattles in and out.
8 for 12, 6 for 9 from the floor. Yeah, I think she'll play a few more minutes.
A long one, no good. And a rebound to Jimfy.
She's amazing. There's a lot of little girls wearing her jersey in here. There's a lot of grown men wearing her jersey in here. And there's a lot of signs. I was struck by the little girl that came out here from Miami that had a sign that she wants to be like Caitlin Clark. That just shows you that it's not just Iowa.
And
it's all across the country, little girls are paying attention.
She presented that sign so
you
well.
Watch little girls, and you see the way the impact that Caitlin might be having on them. You hope they're getting the ball and dribbling in their driveway.
This is certainly an event to remember.
Clark fan.
How awesome is that? It's almost like in Like Mike. Not quite the shoes that make you play like Michael Jordan, but the jersey that makes you shoot like Caitlin Clark. Martin brings it across the timeline. There's a lob for Stuelke. Lost her footing. Gets it to that ice, so you do get a little condensation and moisture built up on that court. And unfortunately, Stuelke found that out the hard way.
Good to see her walk off under her own power and with a smile on her face on the bench.
Yeah, she seems like she's okay. And again, no reason for her to come back into this one, but should be hopefully good enough to go tomorrow. That one dumped inside for Goodman. Beautiful pass.
And a touch on those interior passes.
Iowa sticking with this zone. Sort of a 1-3-1 dropping into a 2-3. Mastodons have not been able to solve it since they started using it in the second quarter. Sellers with it. Was their top option early, but instead it's been mostly threes to provide the points for Purdue-Fort Wayne. Pull-up is no good from Sellers. Iowa leads by 36 now. There's the dump down. Goodman turns and didn't get the roll. Great move, but it doesn't fall.
That was a great move. There was no dribble. She used the defender as the access to pivot around.
And a takeaway by Iowa. Marshall the other way. Mastodons had numbers, but could not keep it in play. Corner 3, short for Davis. Trying to track down her own miss and gets the foul call. Will probably drop in each day on this tournament. A Hall of Fame caliber broadcaster and part of the management team that puts this event together. Clark misses. Offensive rebound. Goodman! Determine who committed the foul, and the answer was Sellers, and she is now fouled out as Goodman converts on the free throw. In foul trouble tonight. So that was our only immediate timeout of the fourth quarter. We will be with you the rest of the way here on Flow Hoops. Stay tuned. Amber Bepko will have a post-game interview with the Hawkeyes as Goodman pulls down that rebound. Clark trying to save it. So Caitlin Clark gets another stint on the court here, although there's 3 subs coming in shortly. Clark at 29, as Debbie said, just trying to break 30 to add another one of those games to her ledger. There's
points,
a win.
Yeah, but that's the 8th assist for Caitlin Clark. So important to the offense, obviously, but she's able to deliver passes to her teammates in their shooting pockets, on time, on target.
A chance for a double-double with assists for Clark if she can get 2 more. There's a good feed, an extra pass, and Goodman lays it in.
Going on a highlight tape for sure.
Terrific vision from both, and Iowa is clicking. An 8-0 run to start the quarter. And then a block. They're going to get
3 games in 3 days is difficult. regardless of who you are, how many points you score, how good a shape you are in. But it's also an opportunity here for Addison O'Grady and others to make this Iowa team even deeper.
It is a season low 22 minutes tonight for Caitlin Clark. That's the one category where she would gladly take it being a season low. One less minute than she played against Fairleigh Dickinson in the season opener. And still scored 29, so more points than minutes for Caitlin Clark. This is Marshall crossing over into the lane, lost her footing. That ball goes out of bounds. Just wants to see some, X's and O execution for the Mastodons. Get ready for their matchup tomorrow as they will take on Delaware in our 1:30 game.
What execution, what fundamentals can they shore up that will make tomorrow just easier for them as they're continuing to build?
Yeah, Blue Hens are a solid team. We just saw them here in the previous game as that three misses from Fierbach. Inside it goes. Righty layup is per quarter here for Purdue-Fort Wayne. Here's Marshall getting it to Fierbach. O'Grady trying to post up. A falter with it up top. Now Davis. Using the screen from O'Grady. Crosses over. Davis kicks. Wide open from the corner, but no good. And an offensive rebound for a falter. Casey dishes. Reverse layup is good.
It's important for Fort Wayne to find a little rhythm here at the end of the game.
And a foul is going to be offensive. And Jim Fee. Final 4.5 minutes here in our nightcap on day one at the Gulf Coast Showcase. And we've got a kick.
It's a very veteran squad in Vermont. Has a good inside game, hit outside threes, very balanced scoring. Well-coached teams that played extremely hard in their first matchup today.
Our second game will be between Delaware and these Mastodons. So a quick turnaround for Purdue-Fort Wayne, having to come back here at 1:30 tomorrow. And a foul call. Judge the Mastodons against a team like Iowa and one of the top 5 teams in the country.
We saw them play extremely hard. Boy, I got to believe we didn't see their best results, right? Based on the size of the defenders, the quickness that Iowa brings, the transition, the prolific scoring. Great matchups. I think tomorrow.
Yeah, no question. Purdue-Fort Wayne in this half shooting just 4 for 25. That is 16%. I almost think for most of that first quarter. McCabe hoists up the three and caught it. Crowd loves it. A young sophomore guard hitting the three. And we've got a foul underneath. First. A three for Casey off the mark. Knocked around. And we may have a jump. No, we have a foul as the
This Mastodon team, all 10 who have played today, extremely gritty, diving on the floor, wrestling with stronger, taller Iowa players. Nothing to hang their heads about today.
All right, Marin, let's get into the night session tomorrow. What a 2 ranked teams. Kansas State, who won by double digits today against Western Kentucky, against UNC, as McCabe's three will not count. We've got an offensive foul before the shot.
I think we're going to see better versions of themselves playing against the ranked opponents. It's different playing against the mid-major teams. However you want to say it, coaches don't always want to admit it, but it's just different. And so UNC is going to be tested with Ayoka Lee and her dominance and counter that. What does that matchup look like?
Kenise Johnson gets her first points right into the game, scoring immediately. That one's knocked away. Oh, boy, these reserves from Iowa playing at the same level as Edgar knocked it away. But those are some good points, I think, depending on what poll you look at. So that's at 5 o'clock tomorrow. That may not have the crowd that our second game does, but it'll be a darn competitive matchup, and most women's hoops fans around the country will certainly be tuned into that. A couple of top 20 teams going head-to-head.
And then in the second game, we've got to being in these big moments. It's unbelievable that it's only the semifinals.
I know. It's going to be one heck of a game as we have an offensive foul there. And it's a different skill level.
Iowa's size, I think, is different, and the way that they count on their interior players, it's just part of their offense. They go to Stuelke, they go to Goodman, they go to O'Grady with regular.
All kinds of post options for Iowa, and that will be something that the Eagles don't normally have to deal with. And so we'll see if they can keep up with Iowa on the offensive end. That is certainly going to be a high-scoring game, just because of the sheer amount of possessions we'll see in that one. It's Casey. Final 2 minutes here from Hertz Arena. But we are so excited for those matchups tomorrow night. Martin will be here for all four once again. Max Tanzer will be added to the crew tomorrow for the day session as we have a travel here. Go back to work from Thanksgiving break, but tomorrow night's crowd could be absolutely electric with the local team, a team that's in the NCAA tournament just about every year, and the Eagles against one of the best in the country. As there's a block from behind, and Iowa continues to have their way. Johnson snaps one. Right side, McCabe. No good. Long rebound handled by Graber. Again, Amber Bepko will be joined by the Hawkeyes after this one, so stay tuned for some post-game interviews. Schwederman gives it up. Casey for three.
Casey had a rough night. That's 1 for 7 from behind the three-point line.
Or maybe that'll unlock something for tomorrow, as it'll boost her confidence a little bit. Long pass ahead. That one goes down. So I don't know if Iowa will get to 100 here, but they are certainly close. This might be their final possession of the night. Jimfy for three. You bet. Oh, these reserves have come in and played at a high level. 5 points now for Jimfy, as Purdue-Fort Wayne uses some clock, as they can hold this one till the end. So we'll see if they make one more move towards the basket. Casey has it up top with less than 10 seconds. They will throw it away, and Iowa more competitive than we expected. But in the end, we've got the matchups we want tomorrow.
All 8 teams played incredibly hard today, as you would expect in an event such as this.
Yeah, Iowa was pushed just a little bit in that first quarter, but otherwise a dominant performance here tonight. 98-59, the final tally. They will get the FGCU Eagles tomorrow, or the